Welcome, everybody. Welcome, stars. Welcome, all you little beautiful divine bits and pieces of the galaxy. Welcome to another episode of Allastrology, and we are taking a look at the up and coming May 2021 eclipse. May 26th. Time is at 6:13 a.m. This is a full moon. This is a lunar eclipse. So what makes up a full moon? The sun and the moon are at opposite ends of each other. So this is the moon at 5 degrees and 25 minutes, sign of Sagittarius. And then we have the sun, 5 degrees, 25 minutes in Gemini, because Gemini is the polar opposite of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, as is Gemini, right? They share the same line of energy. Gemini is air. This is a mutable air, flexible air, which means flexible talking, flexible thinking, flexible communication. This is traveling short distances in your community, in your neighborhood. This has also become digital media, right? Social media, digital neighbors, right? So not just the neighbors out back, but your digital neighbors, people in your community. This can be coworkers and sibling energy. When we go over to Sagittarius, we are talking about a mutable energy, but it's mutable fire. It's expansive and it adds to things. What happens when you see fire on the ground? It travels. Sagittarius energy is also about traveling, but it's more of traveling via an airplane. It takes to the sky, and if it can't take to the sky, it's going to get behind the wheel of a car, and it's going to take a long journey. Okay, back in the day, this was horseback. Staying in the neighborhood and traveling, communications with people locally, and of course, since the age of online, we can now talk to people far away. Yeah, your digital neighbors. So understanding each sign will help you to understand what this eclipse is going to mean for you. So Sagittarius energy, this is expansive, this is freedom, this is truth, my ability to travel long distances, my ability to seek and to go on these long journeys. That is how a Sagittarian energy expresses. It needs to experience and journey. The word journey is a big one. Seeking, because it's always seeking truth. It's your belief. It is a spiritual sign, philosophy on life. But Sagittarius energy, once it expands and breaks its own borders and boundaries, it has the ability to grow and become more than it knew it could be. Remember, freedoms, truth, freedom of religion, but opinions and beliefs, learning what their truth is, takes to the sky, takes to the air, and expands. The opposite, Gemini energy, air and communication and thinking. This was belief, Sagittarius, what I believe. This is what I think. Okay, this is what's going on in my head. And what goes on in your head, whatever goes on there usually ends up being something that comes out of your mouth. The sign of Gemini in a very esoteric and a very elevated is that master creator energy. Because it all begins with how you think. It first began with a thought. Then came the word. Gemini energy, mutable air, being flexible in the way that I talk and communicate and relate with people that I see on a regular basis. Coworkers, it could be schoolmates, it could be siblings. Just apply that meaning of whoever you see on a regular, everyday to your life. This is people who are far away, people you don't get to see that often. Right? If you see these guys all the time, the opposite of that is someone you don't get to see all the time. Matter of fact, this would be like people you see only once in a blue moon because you have to get in the plane to go see them, right? Whether it's a vacation or you're exploring a different land, like this is foreign languages. People who have prominent Sagittarius or Jupiter energy are usually linguistically gifted. They can speak multiple languages or they pick up languages very quickly. It's that Jupiter, it's taking this ability of talking and communicating, knowing my own language or being really good at it, and then elevating this language to the other end of its energy. The sun will be in Gemini, 525. Find out in what area of your chart, right? What chart number would that be for you? Because at the opposite end is going to be the moon at 5 degrees and 25 minutes. Now, what we're going to be looking at is what kind of an eclipse is this other than the lunar eclipse. Well, if it's lunar, that tells us it's a closure and an ending. Because isn't that what a full moon is? It's an ending of a cycle. It's a completion. It's a letting go. It's a release. A release about what? All those Sagittarian words. And it won't be every single solitary one of them. It has to do with how much of your free will do you express. An old belief. These are foreigners, foreign lands, communication with foreign people, foreign languages. That is where our degrees of freedom come in. But releasing a belief, maybe releasing some freedoms, maybe releasing some opinions, maybe releasing a religion, some spirituality, law. This is the courtroom. This is the judge. So an ending at either end, because it's an eclipse. That moon sends a beam over to here, and that sun sends a beam over to here. Okay? So it's a release. Now let's find out where the nodes are at. You see it? That's it. That is the south node. So this is a huge release. There's a double emphasis on release here. This is a south node lunar eclipse. So the south node in general represents past life skills and achievements which stand us in good stead for this life. We need to use these skills in the present life to learn the lessons of the opposite point, the north node. But we must not continue to fall back on the past. The challenge with the nodal axis is to use the past skills of the south node and learn the new skills of the north node on our quest for wholeness. So it's not a dependency on our past, which is difficult to do because it's something you're very skilled at. It's a gift. So the south node in Sag, this is a quest to learn to see life from other people's point of view. Remember we talked about beliefs. Sag is all about what I believe. This is a quest to learn to see life from another person's point of view and to become adept in the art of communication, becoming really good in the art of communication. You have a tendency to be restless and scattered. You need to develop the focus and the ability to communicate your ideas in a way that helps the many people in your life. Sagittarian energy, a not so high expression is, well, this is my truth, therefore I think it should be your truth. And so they project it. They speak about it, they talk about it. It's expansive, it wants to spread, right? It wants everybody to feel it, right? Remember, think Jupiter. So it takes its own belief and says, but this is the truth. This is the truth, therefore it should be your truth. Again, that's a not so high expression of that, but we are releasing this. This is a release, right? A release. So this will be helpful. We are learning to see other people's points of view. That is what supports the double emphasis. The south node is a release, and a full moon is a release. So key words for Sagittarius. It's all about the wholeness. It's all about many other individuals. Definitely spirituality. It is freedom. It is belief. It is religion. The truth. Think of Jupiter and the key words for Jupiter. Now we're going to go to the opposite side. The opposite side, again, is Gemini energy, but the sun will be in Gemini. The moon and the sun sending beams back and forth. This is conversations. This is thoughts. This is my perspective. The sun is the sign which makes an individual in Gemini very curious, lively, versatile, and talkative with a constant need for stimulation. You are an adept at keeping your finger on the pulse of several things at once. Like those multitaskers, like a juggler. Many times you weave your way successfully and skillfully through your many activities, leaving others in somewhat breathless awe of your abilities. However, there are many times when everything comes tumbling down around you, and you're left to pick up the pieces, which have been scattered throughout your life. Communication is a key element in your life, taking the form of lively conversation. Letter writing, study, numerous telephone calls, or even traveling to various destinations to satisfy your curiosity. You've a tendency to liven up even the quietest environment, sometimes even introducing a chaotic element, just so that there's no quiet. Gemini energy. I know a couple of people have some very strong Gemini, very strong mercurial things, because this is the sign, planet Mercury rules Gemini, and it's all about communication. It's all about information. I need information around me. You ever go into those people's houses? My mother's great for this. Papers everywhere. Papers everywhere, magazines everywhere, like just holding on to information, knowledge, right? Very curious, always wanting to learn and read. Sign of school, absolutely. Sign of many teachers and writers, right? Digital. The explosion, self-publishing. So this South Node, a release in a belief, a release in a truth, a release in an opinion. The full moon puts a closure on it. To get a better understanding of what else is going to be going on, let's take a look at some of these other things.